Ladies and gents, boys and girls, it's Tinism out here. I just thought I should touch base, and talk about something that I experienced with one of my posts that I posted last week. I'm sitting outdoors. I decided to just sit outdoors today, and I'm sure you can hear the people and the neighbors talking around me. This post I had posted last week, and the subject of which was about makeup. I was shocked to realize that in 2021 there's an expectation amongst some of the sisters out there that there are certain subjects and certain topics that males shouldn't have an opinion on. I don't know where this comes from and where it started from, but in 2021 it seems like the fairer sex has decided to actively decide when we can speak about things and when we cannot speak about things. And in my experience, if something like that was done by a male, it would have been equated to things like patriarchy, and it seems like the very real existence of matriarchy does not exist in the minds of our sisters. That being said, just for context, sometime back I was a student at TUT, and in my time there I was actually studying entertainment technology. Some of the subjects that I had to do there, not necessarily by choice, but because you don't walk into any course where you do only what you want. You have to do everything else that you don't necessarily want. I digress. Some of the subjects that I had to do was costumes design, which is the whole sewing, machinery, and tunga basically. Painting. We also did properties, which is props, where we would be given polystyrene and we carve it to certain shapes, whether it's chairs, tables. We would create. I remember particularly, I think this is around about the time when Thor was released. So the gear that's worn in those movies, those are some of the things that we were doing in properties. And makeup was one of my subjects there, even though my main reason for enrolling was actually sound and lighting. I am by no means an expert in makeup, right? But I have an opinion and I have a view, and I think I can see it when it's used in a way that is deceptive or dishonest. And I say deceptive and dishonest in that my understanding is that makeup is supposed to accentuate whatever qualities you already have about yourself that are already there and good, or bad if you want to think of it that way, right? Now, what surprises me is that it seems like sisters have actively decided to use makeup as a tool to transform themselves to become people they are not. And this, for me, is extremely strange. Strange coming from a group of people that are constantly on our social media talking about how they want to have real interactions and real relationships with real men. They've got a definition of what a real man is, right? And I'm sure in their heads we don't have a definition of what a real woman is. But I'm not even going to get into that, right? Ladies, in my word, I will express my unfiltered views as and when, and opinions as and when I think about them. If you want to come to my wall and you tell me that I shouldn't have an opinion about this subject or that subject because it makes me look like a certain kind of man, that's your problem, right? That's your problem. I did not just wake up and fall up and have an opinion about makeup in general. I happen to have studied it. And not that I'm saying I'm an expert in it, but I can clearly see when it's abused. And this is the basis of my complaint about it, is that I am not saying sisters must not wear makeup. I'm saying it must be done correctly. This thing of you painting yourself to the extent where you transform yourself and become somebody else is unnatural for starters, and it's deceptive. A poor guy sees you from a distance, you are projected and you are pitching yourself at a level where you know in truth you are not. And you are the same person that claims you want to have real interactions with real men, right? How about you take some time and you learn that real relationships with real men are built from the beginning with honesty as a base. Now, if you come and you misrepresent yourself or who you are, and then you expect that the person who's sitting on the opposite end of the table is supposed to bring honesty and realness in your life, where you've elected you are not going to be real from the jump, this is unreasonable. It's utterly unreasonable. I was given names by some of the ladies that were commenting there on my status, right? Some of these are people that I know personally, that I have a great deal of respect for. Some of these are people that I don't really know or really care about, right? And people that I wouldn't even recognize if I met them in real life, because they're not my people like that. You know, we just happen to share a timeline on Facebook as supposed virtual friends, but beyond that there isn't anything else to go by, right? You know, there was psychoanalysis, there was commentary about what I invest my energies in. There was commentary about the supposed names that I was given because I'm an independent thinker, a man who has an opinion about makeup, right? I was called all of these things, and in having been called all of these things, there were a few things that stood out. Some of these commentaries were in the lines of, what kind of a man? Hang on. I am the kind of man I need to be to the woman I need to be. Not to the general population of females I don't give a damn about. Like, really, I don't have to be. Not every man or every woman that you see out there is your kind of woman. You've got your own cup of tea, and some others are not within your preference line. And this is strange, because you see every day sisters talking about, I need him to have a car, his money this, his money that, this, that, and the third. This is the entitlement that sisters have now come to have. They have all of these opinions, and they've got all of these classes and categories where they group us and they put us. But as soon as we have an opinion about something that they do that we don't like, we must be ostracized, or we've committed the worst possible sin. This, to me, that doesn't make sense, right? I don't use my social media to gain brownie points from random people and strangers that I don't know on my social media. My social media is a space where I share whatever the hell I want to share at a point in time. Whether it makes the next person uncomfortable or not is neither here nor there. It's my social media, and it reflects my opinions. My opinions, which I will not ask for permission to air or to make expressions on. They are my opinions, right? So if you want to become the kind of woman who goes to bed, and I quote, this was one of the comments that were made in the status. There was a comment that said, you go to bed with Mona Lisa and you wake up next to Scarecrow. Because you ladies are so unrecognizable without the makeup. You are transformers. You've seen how the transformers work. One day it's a car, the next day it's all sorts of things. And that's the basis at which you want to have men commit. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. And trust me, the rest of the males might not talk about it or express it, but it's a common concern amongst us. If I'm ugly, I will give you a chance to choose me as ugly as I am, without me having to mislead you into believing that I'm something I'm not, or I'm someone I'm not, right? That's what honesty is. That's what realness is. That's the basis of pitching. This thing of pitching yourself at a level where you know you're not. You are not at that level. You pitch yourself at this level. You would use anything to deceive and become somebody that you're not. Now, don't get me wrong. I get that there's cases of people that have skin problems. that have blemishes, they want to hide for medical reasons or the next. That's well and good, as long as it's done within reasonable parameters, right? But these ones that change and become other people, no, we are not going to sit here and deal with that. You know, we're not going to sit here and not have an opinion on that. Ningono doli kusalai. Like it or not, ningono doli. Ningono doli that are fake, and nothing about these presentations that you make to these men that you make it to is real. But you expect them to come to you in your life and be real people about it. Forget it. So as for this censoring that seems to be a thing or a currency now in social media, we are actively being silenced by females that feel like we have got no right to air this opinion or that opinion. Sisters, ningayizama kuklamadodeni, or these guys that jump into your inbox. I'm not one of them. Ne? And because I'm not one of them, I don't give a fuck what you think. Right? It's my opinion, it's my thoughts. I share it as and when I please in my wall. You have the right to either not comment or remove me or block me, whatever the case may be. But don't come to my wall and think that you are going to silence me. It's not going to happen. Forget it. I hope you guys are having a good day. Cheers.